Give a warm welcome to Julia Lechner.
So, like a lot of people growing up, I didn't have a for sure sense of my future, like who my spouse would be if I'd have kids. But I just had a feeling like it would happen. I grew up in a little town in southern New Jersey. Everyone in my family married their high school sweetheart. So it just was expected and modeled. And even though I never felt especially like it would happen for me, that I'd be a mother, that all this would happen, I just assumed that's what happens when you grow up. Unfortunately, I didn't marry any high school sweethearts. Pickings were slim in my class. I remember one boy, I think, had a crush on me, but I didn't realize it until later in adulthood. He asked me on a date in middle school. He was like, let's go to the movies together. And I said, that sounds great. And then I invited 20 of our closest friends to go to the movie theater, not realizing he was asking me on a date. And then once when I was 27, I was like, oh shit, that guy was trying to ask me out when I was 11, and I was too dense to understand it. So I packed the dating away for a while. I kind of do things in order in my life. So I went to school, I got a career, and then I was ready to find the person to share all this with. So I joined every single dating app, as is the type of thing I do. I keep spreadsheets, I'm a completionist, and went on hundreds of dates to try and meet the perfect man in Los Angeles. And quite frankly, it's a separate, it's funny now story, but long story short, I found him. He is an actor. Not a surprise there. And he's a wonderful man. And I remember early in dating too, he was like, wow, you were my second online date. I met one other girl, but we'd already started chatting, but I still went to see her, but I knew I couldn't wait to meet you. And I was just like, I went on years of dates. I was very honest with him of no, I went on some wild dates. Someone said they didn't believe in time zones. Someone else had me meet his mother before I met him. Someone told me I was a homework assignment for therapy, and I was like, that's honest of him. I should continue dating him for a few months. So I was honest with my now husband, no, I put my time in, and then met you, and now we're in love. So like a lot of couples, before we got married, we did discuss the kid question, will we have children? And we both assumed we would. We both liked doing organized activities as kids. We were very involved kids in school, so we talked about coaching the hypothetical teams of our future children. We're one of those Disney couples, so we were all right, I'll take on your last name, and then we don't have to get our t-shirts hyphenated on Etsy when we go to Disneyland every year. My husband's very into Christmas, and we do elaborate holiday cards every year, so we knew our future hypothetical children. We'd probably rope them into some sort of elaborate production, a very Lechner family Christmas, and film it and send it to all our closest friends and acquaintances. The dream. So that is something we discussed before coupling up and getting serious and deciding to elope. And then once we got married and all the paperwork was out of the way, it was time to start trying, which is like normal intimacy, but now you really mean it this time. And that is how my husband and I began our stint as one of those married couples on a fertility journey. Our fertility journey involved things like trying every single tip I read on the internet. Eat Brazil nuts, pineapple cores, and extra expensive vitamins. Quit coffee, quit drinking, pee on this, test your mucus, take your temperature down there, pop some Mucinex, use this magic tea, use this special lubricant, but also make sure you're totally relaxed and definitely orgasmed during this completely natural and enjoyable lovemaking session. Eggies and spermies are happier if we both climax in unison. Every month that went by during our fertility journey, I questioned more and more. Do I really want to be a mom this badly, or am I just becoming obsessed with not failing at this? Parenthood seemed like a fun, albeit very challenging, new chapter for my husband and I to share together. And the ensuing months and how long it was taking for us gave us extra time to really think, how bad do we actually want to do this? to try everything humanly possible to bring a human being into this world who will ultimately refer to their mother as cringe. Is it worth it? To live out the dream that we saw before us of drinking wine coolers in backyards with our new parent friends while we yell at our often annoying and adored children. That's what parenthood is all about. And we'd envision this life where we'd have this new circle of friends and community that we would be raising these children with. And every month that went by, I wondered, how bad do I really want it? But we continued trying and monitoring our cervical mucus in the romantic way that people do. And every single month, it was a negative for us. And we got a lot of unsolicited feedback from medical professionals and friends saying things like, just get back up on the horse and try again. Which I assume my husband is the horse in this scenario, but was never really quite sure. And I didn't like to ask a lot of follow-ups or say things like, we're doing it a lot, trust me, because people would come back with advice and questions to make sure we actually knew physically if we were doing things correctly. What a wonderful time in our marriage to be able to share with all of those people. So while we're on our fertility journey, my father-in-law and brother-in-law decided to plan to visit Los Angeles and come see us. And a few weeks before their visit, I tell my husband that we can totally skip the trying to have kids thing if they're in town during our visit. And we decide we'll wait and see. It probably won't even be an issue, and we prepare for them to come visit. They come, not sexually. They arrive at our apartment from the Midwest, and we take them out to trendy restaurants, historic landmarks, Hollywood photo ops. All the while I'm peeing on sticks and monitoring the signs. And then, one afternoon, it happens. My test says that I'm in my fertile window. So I quietly exit the bathroom and I indicate the update to my spouse while his father and 20-something brother are debating which Pink's hot dog toppings are the best. We have some brief, unplanned downtime before our dinner plans, and my husband and I quickly exchange whispers. Should we? What's the test say? We don't have to. We can skip this month. No, let's do it. That's a whole month down the drain. Okay, guys, we're going to take a nap before we get back out there. Do you two want to watch that movie you were talking about? My husband presses play on an illegally downloaded screener of Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And then he and I walk into our bedroom, which is literally 5 feet away from the couch and television in our small Hollywood apartment. Our announcement feels abrupt to me, but also my husband and I have become pros at laser-focused lovemaking during the most inopportune times, so we're taking it all in stride. I scoot to the edge of the bed, and I put my legs up and spread them, like I'm at a gynecologist appointment. And my husband is before me, not wanting to mount or rock the bed in any way because no sound has ever seemed as loud as sound does in this moment. Towel down, special lube on, we make what can be looked back upon as the quietest, quickest sex session with the least amount of movement possible, so as not to aggravate the squeaky bed or the creaky floors. All the while, we whisper sweet nothings like, I love you. Please be as fast as possible. You're so beautiful. I am so sorry this is happening right now. Just wait, this will totally be the month it happens. Wedding vows prepared me for many things, but not this. As my husband makes microscopic thrusts, while I hear his family watching a Charles Manson massacre steps away from our marital bed, I try to visualize an egg and a sperm meeting in a beautiful meadow. Or whatever those fertility YouTube videos had told me to do. We finish, thank God. And my husband gets dressed, kisses me. he adjusts the pillow under my hips, and he leaves the room. While I lie there, splayed and naked, like a Thanksgiving turkey, letting everything marinate or whatever for a bit before moving on as well. That month isn't the month it happens, and the happy ending for us is that after more trying and 2 pregnancy losses, we both totally agree we are done trying to have kids. I see the people around us in our lives, and I can't imagine wanting it badly enough to figure out what the next steps would be to make it happen for us. With each passing year, we feel reaffirmed, even if we're not living the life roadmap we thought we would, and most of the people in our lives, and quite frankly, the world, have followed. Now any Disneyland t-shirts we make are just for the 2 of us, or we just took our nieces and nephews to Disney World, or we share them with our friends. It's like we're a different couple than the one we were before, reborn as this child-free or childless or whatever you want to call it couple. And we're happier knowing that we're in a place. It felt really relieving to finally make the decision that we were done and not be in this limbo every month of wondering if we'd blow up our lives forever. And now, when we want to fuck 5 feet away from one of our dads, it's because we want to do that. Like the freaky people we are, and not because of some fertility journey. That journey may be over for us, but our adventure is just beginning. Thank you.